All right. So the other thing I just always have to mention is that um, if I have to pause for to let some people in, just permit me to do that. All right. So this is sort of a blended course for CTEL, and so you probably I see a lot of faces that have been on other courses that facilitated, and so generally that means we have um, live meeting, which we're all here for. And then, of course, we've got a D12 shell where we're going to have more information there, more content there for you to go over, as well as an assignment or two. Okay, so that is the case for this course. So everybody's enrolled in this course, or I enrolled, or at least I try to enroll everybody. If you're not enrolled, just let me know and I'll take care of that. And of course, the easiest way to find our course here is go to, course C2L, click that 3x3 array, and then we're going to search for something. For this one, you could just search YouTube or ALT044, I believe is the course code, and that should pop up. So that would be our third one here on the bottom. So this is ALT044, part two. You might have been enrolled in part one previously. So we do have a separate shell for this course because it is a separate shell or separate course for CTEL and in My Learning and everything. So we've got a separate course shell. You can, of course, always pin it there. So I'm just going to click in there and start talking about that. All right. So this is part two. So either assuming you were in part one, and a lot of you were, or you have enough experience with YouTube that you saw the description of our part one course, which was basically just creating your own YouTube channel and then uploading a video for that course. So if you've already been there, done that, I'm going to skip part one, and that's fine. And go on to part two. If you didn't take part one and you are not as familiar with YouTube as I just discussed, don't worry. We do have a module, if you will, called Getting Started with YouTube or in YouTube, and it's got a lot of great information on getting started with YouTube. Some of the things that you wouldn't need to think about, even as far as creating a Google account. Google is, of course, YouTube's parent company, I guess, or Alphabet or whatever they are these days. So you can create a Google account, and then you can create a YouTube channel. And we have a live meeting recording and the PowerPoint that goes along with it from one of our previous meetings. This is one's from January 10th, and that's actually from Lisa Burgess. She had it embedded into another shell, so I just copied that over, and she does a better job at these things than me. So you're in luck to have her recording there. I should have already mentioned this, but if there's any questions, comments, concerns at any point in time, feel free to stop me while we're going through this. Okay, so for this part two course, we're essentially trying to take everyone a step further with their YouTube progress. So part one, you create an account, you upload a video. Okay, so now what? So what we're going to do is admit Banouche first, and then what we're going to do here is just talk about some of the things we can do inside of YouTube to, one, learn more about our videos, our analytics, and then we're also going to learn how to use YouTube's editor to edit some of our videos. The editor inside of YouTube is very simple. So the good thing is that it's going to be easy to use. For the most part, I'll be able to teach you how to use almost all the features within this hour. I guess the con is, of course, since it's so simple, it can't do a lot of things, okay? I'm sure I'm going to get a few questions. Can you do this? Can you do that with that? And unfortunately, a lot of those, beyond what we talk about in this course, you're not going to be able to do with the YouTube editor. So if you want to do more advanced editing than what we're talking about here today, you're going to want to either enroll in our using videos in your courses, which has a whole day of editing using Adobe Premiere Rush, or Lisa Burgess also has a standalone course in using Adobe Premiere Rush for editing, and that's a lot more powerful than YouTube's editor. Okay. Um, excuse me. So what are you going to have to do? So let's talk about what we're going to have to do for this course, and then I'll show you how to do that. I guess that's at least how I was thinking I would run this session. Okay, so there's a lot of that stuff from the learning outcomes, but essentially there's 3 things that we're going to need to do by not this Sunday, but next Sunday for this course. As always, we like to encourage engagement between our peers. So there is one discussion about how you're going to use YouTube in your classes, okay? And not just in your classes, maybe you're using it for a wider audience as well. So just a couple prompts there. We would like everyone to participate in this discussion, talk about how we can use this resource that is YouTube. And then the other 2 things we're going to have to do for this course are under our assignments. We got a couple of assignments folders, and click there. Okay. One is going to be pretty straightforward. Is once we get our videos up into YouTube, another nice feature or way to use them is to embed them right into D12 content. And so we're going to have you embed them in a video into this assessment. Okay. Previously in part 1, we were just looking for links, just asking you to supply some links to your videos. Today, we're going to ask you to embed videos into this course, and I can show you how to do that fairly quickly. And then we're going to ask you to do some editing for your YouTube video. Okay. Again, there's not a lot of options in our editing software in the YouTube editor. Pretty simple and straightforward. So you can choose from any of the sort of tools that you have at your disposal. Okay. And again, we're going to want to try to finish this up by next Sunday. Okay. And inside of this D12 shell, in addition to what we're going to talk about here today and show you how to do all of this, we're of course we have some resources for you. So if you're not as familiar with YouTube as someone who had already taken a part 1 course, we've got that getting started with YouTube module. Okay. The editing in YouTube portion of this course, we've got a couple resources there. We've got how to adjust video settings, and then a video tutorial by a person who is admittedly a much a bigger YouTube star than me. My 200 subscribers don't compare to his several 100,000 or whatever he has up to now. So there's a good video tutorial there for using video editor. And then here's how we're going to use YouTube in a D12 and some resources on how to embed that there. But again, I'll show you that as well. Okay, so before I get going in the actual YouTube editor and showing you YouTube channel, are there any questions, comments, concerns before we get going? Maureen, are you raising your hand?
David, hi, David. I'm unsure. I came in a little late. Were you saying that there's a part 3 to this?
No, so there's not a part 3 for this course. There are other courses that I was kind of pushing that would be using videos in your courses.
Okay.
And I don't know the name of it. Is Lisa in here?
Okay, I'll find it.
The other one's using Adobe Premiere Rush. So I bet if you just search for Adobe in My Learning, it would pop up.
Okay, and one more thing. Did you grade what we did in part 1?
Yes, just today. So I was just going through those today, and so I graded those, and then I didn't enter the attendance in My Learning yet, but I'll do that this week.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, no problem. Okay. So again, any other questions, comments, just feel free to stop me. You raise your hand, turn on your mic, whatever works best for you. Throw it in the chat. All right. So let's go back to our screen sharing. All right. So right now we're in our D12 shell. And now what we're going to want to do is go to a YouTube channel. I got to move all my Zoom controls around so I can access this. All right, so we're in Google, just open up any browser, go to google.com. And if you sign into your Google account, you'll see that you're signed in there. And then we can access YouTube by clicking that, what is it, that 4x3 square array there, and then just click YouTube. Now, if you're already signed in, you go to youtube.com, that should work as well. But, this is always my starting point when I open up my browser, so that's just what I'm used to, okay? So we're gonna go to YouTube. And then I guess, again, I should say that at this point, I'm assuming that everybody has a video up, or once you do get a YouTube video up, you can start from here. So we're going to go to our YouTube, and okay, it's going to pull up. And to access our channel, we're going to click our symbol for our login. I've got a little image there. It might be your initials. All right. And then we're going to click that, and we're going to go to your channel. And this is just, a way for us to access our videos, okay? Now, from here, did I accidentally close my, okay, no, all right. Thought I muted myself for a second. All right, so from here, you're just gonna, go to your videos, your playlist, and find a video that you want to edit, okay? I wanted to find one that, I didn't want to mess up in case I accidentally screwed it up, but I don't know. I'll just pick one. So I've got some, videos for, okay, so here's one for nuclear chemistry. Okay, I'll do this one. So I'm just going to pull up a video. And since it's your video, these two options are going to pop up. If you're viewing someone else's video, you're not going to see this, okay? The analytics and then the edit video, okay? So since the two assignments, or at least one of the assignments, is based on the edit video, so we'll spend probably the most time here to show you how to do that. And of course, to edit the video, we just click edit the video. All right. And so this is just edit the video. This is just basically the first landing page you get here is just like the settings of the video, which, you might be important. Maybe you want to be better than me and you want to add a description, because I don't have a description in all of my videos, okay? Or maybe you want to edit the title to make it a little bit more friendly for search engines, okay? Nuclear reaction kinetics, that might pop up. Nuclear chemistry, that might pop up. You can change your visibility. You can change it from public to private. You can do a little bit of editing here, but most of the stuff that I'm going to talk about, we're going to use by clicking the editor over here on the left side. Okay, so we went to our video, click the blue edit button underneath it, and now we're going to click editor. All right, so here we go. Here's what we get to see. All right, I'm actually going to slide this down a little bit just to make it bigger. All right, so here's pretty much all of the options you get to do for your videos. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but I think it's pretty powerful for what, what we're going to want to do as educators. And also a really nice feature is that we can trim videos. And I'll talk about how I've talked about with other faculty members and how they've used this previously. Okay. Blur is blurring people's faces. So if you're doing any videos in public, or maybe you're doing videos in your classroom and you want to blur students' faces, I don't have a lot of experience with that, but you can blur it, and it does it automatically. And from what I've read, it does it really well, that it blurs faces in the background. Add audio, I have done that. YouTube's got a library of music and sound effects you can do. End screen, info cards, we'll talk more about that. Okay, so for the most part, we're going to talk about trim, end screen, and info cards. Okay, those will be I think the most useful to us. And then a little bit about audio. Again, I'm not going to touch blur too much because I don't use that. But if you do need more information, you can reach out to me and I can look up some resources for that. Okay, so in the editor, you've got a couple. So those are your options, basically your tools. And I see Kim's got her hand raised. So
yeah, I'm sorry. I decided I was going to try to go along with you, but I somehow missed the original step. Like, you choose the video, and then how do you get into these editing tools? I'm so sorry. I thought I was watching everything closely, but
You're muted, David.
Okay, so I just went back out to my video. All right.
yeah,
And do you see the two blue sort of links underneath the save and download analytics and edit video?
I do. Oh, yes, now I do. Oh my gosh, thank you
Okay.
so much.
Oh,
Yes,
yep. So we still got one more step after this. So we're going to click
Okay.
that edit video.
okay.
And then over on the left side, you're going to see details. That's what this
Okay.
landing page is. Analytics, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Mhm.
And then editor.
Great. Thank you so much.
Let's click that editor. Yep. Okay, so and then you've got your tools here. You've got this preview page, so we can play it at any point in time. And so that's playing. And then here underneath it, underneath the video is, some video editor can tell you the names of this this area a little bit better than I. But basically, we see we have the sound track. Okay, the track shows the sound, so you see these little audio waves. And then here's the video track, so we can see little. I know it's probably really hard to see small on my laptop screen, but we can see little screenshots of what the video looks like. Okay. And so you can see that, okay, I started right on here, so that's what it looks like. Right now, it's, the entire track for both the audio and the video is entirely displayed left to right. Okay, if I want to zoom in and sort of see what's going on with these videos right here underneath this video player, there's a little magnifying glass, so I can zoom in, and it basically zooms in on these tracks. So I can see the sort of thumbnails, if you will. I'll let somebody in. They can see the thumbnails a little bit better, and then also the audio waves a little bit better. Okay. I actually use the audio waves a lot when I'm editing because if there's a big if it's a recording from class, and a lot of my Gen Chem 2 classes are videos from in class, if there's a big pause where I'm letting students, finish up writing notes or they're thinking about something, for brevity for a video, I'll cut out those big pauses out in using the trim feature. Okay. And so without further ado, let's talk about that. And you can see this is the timestamp, this little line here, so that as it's playing, it's telling you where the video that we're looking here in the preview is on the video and the vocal audio track. Okay, so I'll pause this just so that stops moving. Okay, and we've got, actually this my laptop is going really slow, so I'm just going to stop my video. That will probably, hopefully, make it a little bit faster. All right. So trim, spend some time here. Okay, so we are going to add trim. Okay, so I just click that add button. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so next to trim, I'm just going to click this plus button. All right, and it's going to set me up. Now, initially, we're just going to be able to trim from the front and on the back. Okay, and so if you're setting up your video, if you're setting up your screen recording, or if maybe you're going to want to trim up a Zoom video with your students, and at the beginning of the video, you're making announcements that are only pertinent to that semester, you can cut those off by just hovering over the front blue line and then pulling it to wherever you want to cut. Okay, and then you can do the same thing at the back end. Okay, so say you finish recording and it takes you a little while to close out OBS or whatever, you close PowerPoint or hit escape. Yeah, okay. So the same thing, you're just going to hover your mouse over that blue line and then pull it to wherever you want to stop. All right, and I see a question possibly in the chat. Oh, okay.
Sorry, it was just a comment.
Okay.
'Cause
No,
the beginning of my video, I'm like staring straight ahead, like I don't realize the recording started again. So trimming the beginning
Okay.
is perfect.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so just, until you get, those first couple seconds, you're just setting things up, yep, turn on camera, opening up PowerPoint, whatever, you can trim that up. Okay. So that's where the initial ones. You can also clear things from the middle by putting in a split. Okay. So that's where you're going to move the timestamp to wherever you want. And then you're going to click this split, and it puts in a blue mark, just like we had at the front and then at the end. And so you can widen, you can move, forward in time to remove that, and then move this, backwards in time to remove that back in. Okay. Now, in the first iteration, that's all you have. You can only do one split. Okay. But then you can save this video. And if you want to do more splitting, you would just repeat this process. And that's one sort of, I guess, one of the, few, some of the things, limitations I have to using this in YouTube editor. But I think this is a good start for, editing videos if you're not familiar with other softwares. Okay. Now, the good thing is, okay, YouTube's done a pretty good job of not allowing you to mess up your videos. Okay. So right now I can't click save. Okay. You can see save is grayed out. I couldn't click save if I wanted to. Okay. I have to come down here and click preview in order for that to become blue. And right now I could play it. Now my preview as I'm playing is that as it's cut. So it's only going to play the, the highlighted or the white portions in this video. It's not going to play any of the gray portions in this video. So I can see what I've done, what I've cut out, what I've done. Okay. And since I had the video, so you can see, okay, so I've got my timestamp here. I'll put it real close to this blue edge, and then I'll click play again and see it goes from there and then jumps right over to this portion. So it skipped everything here in the middle. Okay. And if you don't like that, you just click discard changes. And that's what I'm going to do a lot because I actually don't want to edit this video. Okay. And you don't have to do all three of those, of course. Okay. So we can go back to trim. You can do just cut off the front and say, that's good, preview, then save. Or you can say, every time I finish videos, I'm always closing out programs or doing whatever. I just need the last 30 seconds cut off. So you just move that. Or you like everything in the front, everything in the beginning, you just click a split and you can just, oh yeah, I definitely love this part of the video. I'm just going to cut it out altogether. Okay. Or if you're going to use, your Zoom recordings, that's what you might want to do, take out portions that you don't want, or maybe you're having a discussion with a student that you don't want that on the video, you just remove that. Okay. And so that is one of the, I guess, biggest uses I would see for this for a lot of faculty members is everyone does, I mean, not everyone, but a lot of faculty members have just a whole catalog of recordings from Zoom classes from the past couple of years. So you've got a good number of videos that you can start uploading to YouTube. Now, one of the big things that in any video course that we take, and anything you read about videos, for everyone, let alone students, but especially for students, since we're here talking about that, is that one of the key things is keeping your videos short. Okay, so this video is about 5 minutes. Okay, so that's pretty good. I try to keep them around 15 minutes or under. Some of them, just depending on the concept, they might run over, but if I could, 10 minutes or less would be the way to go. So you've got this Zoom recording that's an hour and 15 minutes long. If you want to make those recordings and those videos a little bit more impactful to your students, a little bit easier to use, you can one by one just cut them up. So it's okay. This will be the first concept we talk about in this recording. Okay, I'm going to cut that up. I'm going to save that, and that'll be my first video for this lecture. And then for the next video, I'm going to start there where I left off. Oops, didn't grab that. Okay, and then this is the second concept I used in. They just don't have the time, Kim. They want to watch it, they just don't have the time.
Even
So.
when they're supposed to be in class, they won't listen to me for a whole hour.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, that's the crux of it, just to keep them in. So we've got this hour-long video. Let's cut it up into bite-sized chunks using this trim feature in YouTube, and that might be a little bit better for use in our students. Okay, Maureen,
David,
question.
David, I have a quick question, if you don't mind.
Mhm.
Every time you save this, it saves as a new video, and then you get to the next chunk, or how does the saving part work here?
Okay, so you caught me at a crux. Okay, so I taught this, last time I taught this course was last spring, had to be last spring. And you could, and this was an amazing feature that made that really easy. Basically, you can save individual chunks as new videos. All right. Everything I've looked at in the past couple weeks preparing for this course, that option seems to have disappeared. And so saving this, and I'll try, I need to dig a little bit deeper. So maybe that option is somewhere and I'm just not seeing it. But as far as I can tell right now, that option is not available. So if you were to say, cut this video, okay, and that's a good point because we will need to think about logistics, and cut this, okay. What you would do is save this, and that would be your first video. And then what you would have to do is upload your whole, hour-long video again for a second video, and then cut what you want. So you would have to upload the video, as far as I can tell right now.
Okay,
And
thank you.
if I,
That's good.
yeah, but if I do find that feature, I'll put it in the D12 shell or email everybody, because that was such a nice feature, but I can't see that. So
Okay,
if I
thank you.
preview it, yep, and if I save it, it gives me the option to save. All right. So it used to have a better option. Okay. And then Maureen, I think I saw your
Yes. So my question is, I noticed in the example you have here, there is text on your screen. It says example 19.4, radioactive, so on and so forth. Is that text something you used the YouTube studio to create, or did you use an outside application?
Good question. So yeah, this is actually just me screen recording my computer, and this is a PowerPoint file. And then I just use my my pen to write on it.
So I'm just trying to understand. So when you say screen recording, so you have a PowerPoint,
Yeah. So
and then you video.
So think about the doing a Zoom recording for your class. So you could start the Zoom, open up a PowerPoint,
right?
Put it in present mode. Basically, this is PowerPoint in present mode.
I understand.
So that's how I screen record.
I
That's how I
see.
make a lot of my videos.
Thank you.
And so a couple of, so Kim's question in this. So yeah, you'll always have the original video on your computer. And so you can always, if you totally screw it up,
Yeah.
there are ways you can get it back to YouTube, but I think probably the easiest way would just be to re-upload it.
Okay, thank you.
And then I got a question in the chat about part one. So if you, again, if you didn't, weren't able to attend part one and sort of aren't up to speed on getting videos up to YouTube, you can, there is a recording in our D12 shell. So we'll go to home. So in getting started in YouTube, there's a live meeting recording right here. And then for that part one course, and then basically all the resources we had in that course. So if you've never uploaded a YouTube video, you'll just have to spend a little bit more time in this module. And then of course, as always, feel free to reach out to me for help. Okay, so yep, so that's the trim. So I'm just going to discard those changes again. So we go back to the beginning to see what we have. Any other questions or comments or just ideas about using the trim?
I have another question. I'm sorry.
Sure. No, what's up?
So last time we met, I was trying to figure this out, and I fiddled around with it over the past couple of weeks as well, but I only got but so far, and that is this. So if I do a Zoom video and I download the link, no, I save the video to a file on my computer.
Yep.
Then I upload the video to, YouTube here. And then I can go into the video editor to trim and whatever else the fancy words are. Is that correct?
Yep, exactly. That's the exact process there.
And then if I find that after I've created and uploaded this video, if I find that there are any errors, I just need to do it again, like recreate the video. Or can I?
Yeah, you mean errors in your video, like you totally flub something, you want to remove it? Yeah, so it depends on how big the error is. If it's something you could trim out of it, like you accidentally, like I just accidentally had like a coughing fit in the middle of the video, I can just use the trim to edit that out. But if like me, if I made a mistake on these calculations in this problem and the answer is totally wrong, yeah, I'd probably have to remake the video.
There's no way to, let's say, no, you'd have to do the whole thing. Yeah, I see it in my head. Yeah, you have to do the whole thing. I was going to ask, there's no way to remove this error and then substitute another slide, but no, you have to do that.
No, not.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, not in YouTube. This video editor is not, so you couldn't cut something out and import another video file. You can do that in Adobe Premiere Rush, which is we have in our Adobe suite. And it's a little bit more complex, has a little bit bigger learning curve, but it's definitely doable. I mean, Lisa Burgess is the one to teaches that course. She's really good at it. I mean, I've, after just taking her course for an hour, I could do a little bit of damage with it too, like that kind of stuff. And that would be the same thing, Laura's question in the chat room. You would have to use something like Adobe Rush to join two videos. And that's actually pretty straightforward in Adobe Rush. There's a little side menu. You can add as many videos as you want. You put them, in whatever order you want, and you make a new video from that. And then J. Carter Smith's question in the chat, is there a way to make a copy of the video and make corrections, edit, et cetera, in the copy? Yeah, so that's essentially what you're doing on YouTube. The original video is always going to be on your computer, and then you upload the video to YouTube, and that's kind of like your copy. And so you'll always have that original file, that original video on your computer. And if you use something like Zoom, you can always have it. It's always in that Zoom cloud recording too. So that's your backup as well. But once you make the edits in this video, there are ways to do it. And honestly, I haven't had to do this, but it is available. So let's add some trim, okay? And I'll just show you what I mean. So let's take off the first 30 seconds. And I have to preview it, and then I'll click save. So make sure I want to save it, but it does take a few hours to make changes. Here's the little disclaimer. The original version of your video is stored when you save it, so you can undo your edits. So essentially what I think happens, and I'll have to play around with this because, um, and maybe I'll look at briefly at the end, but I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, and waste everybody's time not finding something. But essentially what I think you can do is once you make these edits, you can go back into editor, and those clips that you've cut off, of the video, you can restore those. And so, yeah, even in YouTube, you can get back to the original. Okay, so audio is pretty straightforward. There's lots of music that we can add to our videos. And they're all pretty, I guess I haven't, perused the entire library for these videos, but I have added a couple of music clips to some of my videos. And, just you can sort of listen to them here. I don't think I enabled video when I shared, but you can sort of preview them there, and then you would just add them to your video. Okay. Now this campfire one is only 1:58, and so what you see is that it's not the whole length of this video. Okay. Now I envision one of the the main reasons why you would have this is to maybe do some intro music, maybe some outro music. Okay. And so what you can do is just put this at the front of your video, and then what you do is you just squeeze it to whatever you want. Okay, so maybe you only want it for the first 10 seconds. And I know you can't really see that, but so if I hold my mouse over it, it tells me what time it is. And then remember, we can zoom in on that area too. Okay, I need to scroll all the way to the left again. All right, so here's where I can see it. Okay, so here's 0, here's 15 seconds. So I can have this playing in the background. Okay, so when I start. So maybe you want to, have this down here. You can also adjust the mix levels. So if you're talking, you can have this, really low so that you kind of only hear it in the background. And I'll tell you that at least the last time I tried to do this, it's still pretty loud. So I would, play around with it, see what it looks like. Remember, you can always, preview this, just play it, and it'll tell you what it sounds like, and you'll be able to hear it to see if it's your levels, and you can adjust how loud or soft you want that background music to be. Okay. Now, if you do want it longer, you can kind of lengthen it, and I think it just puts it on a repeat if it's longer than the 1:58. Okay. And then, of course, if you want it on your outro, or maybe you want some. Currently, we're in the farm aisle for this. Maybe we want some thunder at the end of our video. So we're just going to add thunder, and I'm going to put this in the end, and I only want it to play for the last 10 seconds, 20 seconds to play me out. And so I'm just going to shrink it down there. And again, you could move this track over there. You can zoom in to see exactly how long it is. Okay, so I end at about 5:29. That's 5:20. So that would be about 8 seconds worth of that audio clip at the end. All right.
Quick question about the volume.
Sure.
You get to adjust that volume just by tapping on the sound, like where it says
so
thunder?
yeah, there's this little like
Okay, got it.
mixer icon, I guess. Yeah. Yep. And so that's where that's primarily what I would envision faculty members using this audio from, for these. And of course, with YouTube, you got to worry about rights and permissions. And so that's the nice thing about this, that since this video audio is coming directly from YouTube, all of the copyrights and permissions are all fine. Your video's not going to get flagged or taken down. If you have, if you record and put in, say, like, I don't know, someone from, the Beatles music in, editing software by yourself, and you try to upload it to YouTube, it's going to get taken down in matter of seconds once it figures that out. Okay, so there we got our audio. And then of course, you see here, you got these options. If you don't like that sound, you don't like how it did, you just go through and you remove it. And I think you can actually just click on it and then click delete and yes. So what I did was I added this and then I just clicked on it and then I clicked delete on my keyboard. So that was another way to delete it. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns about audio? All right. So the next two items I think are really useful, especially if you're going to use a lot of videos for your courses, or maybe you're going to use a lot of videos for your online courses. And if you reference something in a video and you want it to link to another video in case the student had questions about that, or at the end of the video, you want to sort of funnel your students to where they should go next, what video they should go to next. And of course, we can embed videos in D12, and that's another way to sort of keep them on track. Okay, but the first one up is end screen. And as the name implies, these are going to give us our links at the end of videos. And if you've watched virtually any YouTube video that's from a person that creates a lot of content on YouTube, you've probably seen these end screens in those videos. Okay, so I'm just going to click the plus sign. Now with here, we got a bunch of options to do. Okay, we can add at the end screen, we can add a link to a video playlist, subscribe to your channel, or what I like and what I've done before is just I'm going to look at the templates that they have, and they've got some nice options. Okay, and so if you kind of read their title on there, we've got a link to a video and then your subscribe button, or we can do 2 videos, or we can do a video, a playlist, and a subscribe, and those are templates. And you can actually do any number of these, individually, just adding an element or that initial plus sign. Okay, but I'm just going to click this one. It's got the most content. We can talk about what we can do here. So I'm going to click this one video, one playlist, and subscribe. Okay, so here puts them in the video, and you can see where they popped up. So now we got a new track for my end screen at the top above my audio and video. And then these are my 3 ones. I've got a subscribe, a video, and a playlist. Okay, and we can make them shorter. Okay, we can't make them longer. Okay, so that's 15, so they're 20 seconds long. So the default is for them to start during the last 20 seconds of your videos. Now they are going to cover up some of the content, okay, by popping up. And so if you don't want them to cover up content, okay, you can move them around, or again, you can shorten them up so that they don't cover up that material. So we might want to have that one only pop up the last 5 seconds. Okay, so we can do that. Okay. Now what we choose here, okay, the subscribe button, that's I think default. I'm not sure what you would want to or could even change that to. This button would have the individual subscribe to your channel. Now for here, for this video that pops up, okay, I'm actually going to move those. Let's move them around. So I'm going to go back to template. Just I want them back to where they should be. Okay. So if I click on that element, okay, I can see what is my options. Okay. The default is best for viewer. So YouTube's going to select a video to best suit the viewer, your student. So if you trust YouTube to give them the best video, that'd be your options. I doubt that what you're going to want to do. So we're going to choose a specific video. All right. So I forget what this was, but say this was, this is in my nuclear chemistry lectures. So I'm going to try to spell nuclear chemistry right. And so I can't remember which one that was, but let's say that was 8.8. Okay, that's how I number my videos. So unit 8, video 8. And so I might want the next video for them to watch be 8.9. That's the next video in my series, okay? And so that would be one of the options for the students to click, okay? And then this one I chose playlist. And so here, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna choose my playlist, okay? And so playlist is just how it sounds, a collection of your videos that you can create. And I don't see my nuclear chemistry playlist, so I'm just gonna search. Oh, and it's searching all of YouTube, so I don't want to do that. And so there it is. It did pop up. So nuclear chemistry. So I mean, you could, if you didn't see yours, you could search all of YouTube for yours, and if you put in the exact name, you'll get to it. But there's my nuclear chemistry playlist. Okay, so I got the next video, then the playlist, and then a subscribe if they want to. Okay, I don't really care about subscribers, so I might even delete that and then just have these two videos there. And so that's the option. Okay. So then of course save that, or if you don't like it, discard changes, and you can start over. And you can do any one of those. You don't have to do a template. So you just want to do one video. You pop in one video and then choose what video they want. Okay, and next time, maybe I want them to go back to solutions and electrolytes. Oh, that's, I chose a private video. So I guess apparently that can't link out. All right, so there's a public one. All right. So that's a really useful one if you're trying to, keep your students on track to what videos you want to watch, or even, I always say students, but maybe you're trying to reach a broader audience than our students, and you want to, really create content for, society. That's great, and that can help funnel them. Any questions on that, or if you want to see any other options
Yeah,
there?
David, I have a question. If you know
Sure.
you're going to do this, right? Put this end screen. I mean, I see what you're showing us is like a PowerPoint that you are showing while you're recording, right? Would you recommend putting like a blank, like one more slide into your PowerPoint that would be blank, and then you could add?
Yeah, you could do that if
Okay.
you're thinking that. I wasn't that far thinking ahead. That's probably much better. Or
No, that's why I said if you knew you were going to do
Yeah.
an end screen, yeah, you could
yeah,
just
if
put
you
a
knew you were
blank.
going to do something like that. I don't incorporate them in a lot of videos, but when I started to do it, it turned out that almost all my videos had a pretty good, like I was done writing, okay, done solving this problem, and I was just talking about it, like talking about other variations of the problem or what's next in the lecture series, that kind of stuff. And so just while I was talking, I popped those in. So I still found some
Gotcha.
spots for them. Yeah, but yeah, totally setting it up, thinking ahead, and just that new slide, and then just while you're on that slide, you can, because you are going to need some time. You are going to need about 20 seconds worth of video for those end screens to be present. And so once you get to that last slide that you added, you could just talk about it. Now,
Mhm.
please click this video or go back to the playlist or subscribe and make Professor Kamuka a YouTube star.
Cool. Thanks.
Okay. So very similar. But wait, I thought I saw someone's hand up. Nope. Okay, but yeah, any other questions about that? Certainly, we can do that. Very similar in that regard is info cards, except for info cards are a little bit, I guess, a little bit more understated on how they pop up on the screen, but you can put them anywhere in the video. Okay, so let's say, at the 2-minute mark, I reference half-life, okay, because we're using half-life in this problem. Of course, what if my students need to go back and look up what half-life is, okay? I can basically add a link to a video that, if I have a video on half-life, right there at that 2-minute mark, okay? So I'm gonna click add, and then I'll choose video. You can do playlist or channel if that's what you want. If you have a playlist on, like, say, okay, a whole different unit, so the previous unit, if you want them to link out there. But if it's just an individual video, we'll click that. And let's see if I can find that video since I mentioned it, Half-Life. Yeah, so here's my video on Half-Life. All right. So I'm going to click that there and see now I see it. The only way you can see it here, this is my info card track now, and I see this little blue tab. All right, and that's how I can see it. And it doesn't pop up for very long, and I don't think, can I lengthen it? Don't know that answer, but let's try it out and see if we can. No, I can't lengthen the time. So it has some default amount of time that it's there. I think it's longer than this 1 second it's showing up, but this is how it pops up on the video. Okay, so it's not a big card that you can move around, but you can't move this. No, you can remove it with that X, but that's how it pops up. Okay, the student, the viewer, can also get rid of that. So once it pops up, if they don't want to click that link, they can just close it out and then it goes away. But if they need to review that topic, they click that and it'll take them to that video. And for this, this could be intentional, like, Kim's example of, the slide at the end, where if you're creating a video, you could mention in the video, hey, if you don't remember this concept, click the link that's going to pop up. Or it could just be a little bit more subtle in the background, just, hey, here's a link to Half-Life. And hopefully that prompt is enough to say to students, say, okay, yeah, I don't remember about Half-Life. I should click this to learn more about it. And you can add any more amount that you would just save this, and then you could add another info card, anywhere else in the video. So you can do multiple ones of that. Whereas, of course, the end screen, as there is only one end to the video, that's all you're going to get there. Okay. And yep, so that's my Half-Life example. But I guess I can, you can also do a custom message here. And so that might be a link to say, hey, if you forgot, about Half-Life, here's the link. And so you can give them a little bit of information there. And that would come up, I believe, if you hover over it while you're watching the video. All right. So for, man, I always run out of time with these courses. So we only got a few more minutes left, and I do want to show you just quickly how to embed videos into D12, since that's one of your assignments. But for your editing assignment, what we'd like you to do is just try out one of these, okay? So try out trimming the video, adding an end screen, maybe adding an info card, adding some preview or intro or outro music, and then you're gonna upload that link. And then just so I know what to look for when I'm looking at the video, just in the little the text box for your assignment, write what you did. Hey, I put in some intro music. Hey, I added the end screen, just so I know where to look for it. Okay, and of course that will be in our D12 shell assessments assignments, and then that's your editing. Okay, now for your embedding videos in D12, let me just do this for a couple seconds. Just so everybody's on the same page there. Okay, you can do it in any type of content, but you can also do it in your assignment upload box. Okay, there's already one in here, but I'll do it again. So what we're going to do here is, I just always think it's, well, does that show up? Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to embed another. Here's a video on how to embed videos, but if you don't want to watch that, I'll do it right now since we're all here together. So I'm going to go back out to this video in YouTube. Okay. And then most of the time when we share videos via YouTube, we'll click share and we'll get the link. Okay, copy the link. But this first option on additional ways to share is the embed code, and that's what we're going to do. Okay, got these two little programming symbols. We're going to embed, we're going to click that. And then here's all the embed code that we need. And it's easiest just to click this copy. So we're going to copy all of that embed code. And then back in our content, in our D12 shell, or in our assignment for this course, we're going to move my zoom control so I can actually click it. we're going to click this little symbol, the play, pause, circle, square button, stop button, I guess. I don't know what the circle is. Play, pause, stop, circles on, I guess. I don't know. But we're going to click this insert stuff button, and down here is enter embed code, the last link. And all you got to do is Control V, or just right click and then paste it, and then click next, and it will show you the preview of what you're going to see. And then I'm not going to insert this here, but that's how you're going to do it. And there's a video to help you out by Professor Burgess as well. And I should probably cancel this before I screwed up.
I'm sorry, David. I watched and I tried to follow along, but I was completely befuddled by everything I just saw. Are those directions someplace for me to follow at my own pace?
So yeah, I'll do it one more time, a little bit slower. I'm sorry, I was speeding up because we don't have a lot of time in this course. But yeah, if you view this, not editing videos, this embedding videos into your YouTube, I'm just going to view, edit the assignment so I can see it. There's this video by Professor Burgess who does it step by step. And of course, since it's on YouTube, you can, pause it as you want.
So you would suggest it's okay to place videos by other people in your, oh, this is your D2L shell.
Yeah, so this is our course. So yeah, I mean, ideally we wanted you to embed your video here, just get some practice. But yeah, if you want to practice embedding another video, that's fine too. Yeah, like you would in the course.
But you wouldn't do that in your YouTube, on your YouTube channel.
No, so this is only for D2L, embedding
D2L.
videos into your YouTube. All right, and so when you're in some content browser, okay, actually, can I do it? Can I view it as a student? And that way I'll show you exactly how you're going to do it. And let's try it. All right, so we're going to go to assessments, assignments. And then I did not submit this yet. So I'm going to click not submitted. And that will bring up this prompt. Okay, so here's where I'm going to submit. Okay. So first thing I need to do is go to my video, whatever video I'm going to add or embed, and get that embed code. So we're back on YouTube, and underneath the video, there's the share button. We're going to click that share. And can you see that pop-up that starts? I always worry about that. So can you see share on staff? Okay. So instead of just copying the URL, like 9 times out of 10 when I share a video with somebody, that's what I do. But when I'm embedding it in YouTube, I'm going to need to go here and click embed. And that's going to give me this code. Now, I don't have to worry about anything in there. All I really do is click this copy button on the bottom right. And so then once I copy that, I go back to D2L and where my submit button is. And then I'm going to look for this symbol, the infamous insert stuff symbol. I simultaneously think that's the best and funniest name, insert stuff for D2L. So we're just going to insert some stuff. And the last option, you would think that, YouTube would be where to go, but this YouTube browser I've never got it to work. So I'm not even going to click it. So we're going to go down here. We're going to enter embed code. And then that embed code that we copied from YouTube, I'm just going to paste it in here. And then when I click next, the nice thing is that if I didn't get all of the code or I didn't do it right, and I click next, nothing would be here. They would tell me an error would be here. But since this is the preview and I can see the video, I know that I did it right. And so then I would just click insert, and boom, it's in my folder or whatever assignment folder. Yeah. So hopefully that slowdown was a little bit better. And again, we got a video for you there. And yeah, that's just the same content in the, that's not anything. Okay. All right, so we're a little bit over time. I apologize for that. But I'll pause here and I'll stay as long as we need to see if there's any other questions or comments or issues with other courses that Genevieve and I are going to talk about. But I will, I'm going to stop the recording here.